More than 100 million Oreo cookies are consumed every day around the world. They are addictive, irresistible, and have become the best-selling snack on the planet. But have you ever wondered how they are actually produced? What ingredients are hidden inside? Well, today we'll travel to the United States, home of Mondelez International, the largest Oreo factory on the planet, where more than 1 million cookies are produced every hour, ready to be distributed and devoured in more than 100 countries. So get ready, because today you are going to discover how Oreo cookies are mass-produced. Let's begin. Step 1. Preparing the dough. It all begins with the most important element for producing Oreos, the cookie dough. At the Mondelez plants, huge trucks arrive every day loaded with tons of the main ingredients: refined wheat flour, crystalline sugar, and high-purity cocoa powder. Along with them, corn syrup, vegetable fat, and salt are also unloaded. Although they may seem simple, these 6 ingredients are the exact formula that gives life to one of the most famous cookies on the planet. With the help of operators and automated systems, each raw material travels from the silos and tanks to the mixing room, where gigantic stainless steel mixers await, ready for action. There, each ingredient is poured in quantities calculated to the millimeter, and immediately afterward, the enormous metal blades begin to turn with force. In a matter of minutes, what were loose powders and liquids are integrated until they become a thick, uniform, dark brown dough, releasing an intense cocoa aroma that fills the entire production plant. A single one of these mixers can produce more than 500 kilograms of dough per hour, a sufficient amount to make more than 100,000 Oreo cookies in a single shift. That's a truly impressive number. And with the dough ready, it's time to shape it into cookies and create thousands of Oreos. Step 2. Forming and stamping the cookie. We've arrived at one of the most critical steps in the entire process. At Oreo, everything is designed to the millimeter, so that in the end, each cookie always has the same size, thickness, and that unmistakable crunch in every bite. So precision is crucial here. The dark, dense dough moves along long conveyor belts until it reaches the automatic dividers, equipped with high-precision blades that cut it into smaller uniform portions, ready for the molding that will come later. Once portioned, these pieces pass to the roller molders, which serve a dual function. First, they flatten the dough and, at the same time, give it the exact shape of the cookie, forming thousands of identical discs in a matter of seconds. And here's the most interesting part. At that same moment, an industrial stamping system imprints a relief on each piece, made up of geometric figures, and the name Oreo engraved in the center, which is repeated identically on all the cookies in the factory. This design isn't just decorative. The relief helps the cookie maintain its perfect shape during baking and gives it that unmistakable, crunchy texture that everyone recognizes on the first bite. This entire process happens at an impressive speed. What was a shapeless dough is transformed into thousands of dark, raw, perfectly circular discs with the most famous design in the cookie market. Step 3. Perfect baking. With the discs now formed and stamped, the process that will define the Oreo's unique texture begins. The raw cookies move in long rows on steel conveyor belts that introduce them into huge industrial tunnel ovens. As they travel inside, these ovens reach temperatures of over 200 degrees Celsius. And in just a few minutes, each cookie receives the exact dose of heat necessary for the moisture to evaporate and for the dough to acquire the perfect hardness and crunch. In turn, a team of sensors and automated control systems monitors the temperature, humidity, and belt speed in real time to ensure that millions of cookies come out identically baked. A minimal error at this point could ruin an entire production. Soft cookies that break at a touch, or burned discs that are impossible to consume. Upon leaving the oven, all the discs go through controlled cooling tunnels, where powerful industrial fans and cold air jets gradually reduce their temperature. Precision here is vital. If they cool too quickly, the cookie can crack. If they do so too slowly, it loses that crunchy texture that makes it unique. If everything goes well, the final result is thousands of perfectly baked cookies ready to receive the star ingredient. Step 4. Preparing the cream filling. While the cookies provide the crunch, the white cream is the soul of the Oreo. That sweet, smooth filling, which contrasts perfectly with the intense cocoa flavor, is, for many, the best part of these cookies. Many fans even confess to eating the cream first and then the cookie, creating their own ritual with each Oreo. In a separate room of the plant, Gigantic stainless steel tanks receive the basic ingredients to create this cream: ultrafine powdered sugar, refined vegetable fat, corn syrup, and vanilla essence. All of these are poured into high-power mixers where huge paddles spin at high speed until they form a white, homogeneous, and silky mixture. The texture must be perfect, firm enough to hold the two cookies together, but soft enough to melt in your mouth with every bite. To achieve this, the mixture undergoes constant monitoring. Operators, with the help of measuring equipment, supervise its temperature, humidity, and viscosity in real time, ensuring that each batch always maintains the same smoothness and characteristic flavor. When the cream reaches the ideal consistency, it is stored in temperature-controlled refrigerated tanks, where it remains ready and waiting for the most anticipated moment of the entire process, being placed between two cookies to create the definitive Oreo. Step 5. Assembling the Oreo. On the huge automated lines, thousands of cookie discs move in an orderly fashion on conveyor belts. First, a machine places the bottom bases in a row, aligned with total precision. In parallel, another belt prepares the top lids, which will soon crown the final product. In the center, a high-precision dosing system deposits the exact amount of white cream on each base. There is no room for error here. Too much filling would break the balance, and too little would ruin the consumer's experience. For this reason, each injection is calculated to the gram, forming a perfect disc of smooth, bright cream. Immediately afterward, the top cookie is placed on top, applying just the right amount of pressure. Not too much, which could break the disc, and not too little, which would cause the cream to overflow. The result is the perfect sandwich: cookie cream cookie. A balance so perfect that it has remained unchanged for over 100 years. The speed is impressive. In just 5 minutes, a single line can assemble tens of thousands of Oreos, while high-speed optical sensors and cameras begin an initial check, supervising the assembly of each unit. If any minimal fault is detected, such as a misplaced lid or poorly centered cream, the system automatically discards the cookie, thus maintaining the brand's quality standards. Finally, the result is the product we all know: millions of perfectly identical Oreos ready to move on to one of the final steps of the process. Step 6. Final quality control. In a production of this magnitude, it is not enough to just assemble millions of cookies. Each Oreo must be perfect. Once formed, the cookies move on conveyor belts to the final automated inspection area. There, high-speed camera systems and optical sensors check each unit one by one, verifying the exact weight of the cookie, the shape of the disc, the uniformity of the stamping, the color of the bake, and the correct amount of cream. But not everything depends on machines. Specialized operators select random batches and subject them to manual tests, checking the texture, flavor, and aroma of the freshly produced cookies. This dual control, human and automated, ensures that only the units that meet the highest standards move on to the next step. Step 7. Packaging and global distribution. After passing all the controls, the Oreos are ready for their final great journey: packaging. The cookies move on belts to high-speed packaging machines, which organize each unit in the exact position before being packaged. Depending on the format, they can be grouped into individual, family, or multi-packs, always maintaining the same standard of freshness. An automated system places the cookies in their typical aluminized plastic wrappers, a material designed to protect them from moisture, air, and light, ensuring they stay crunchy and with all their flavor intact for months. The sealing is airtight and is done in fractions of a second, ensuring that no package is left open or poorly sealed. Next, the finished packages go to automated packaging equipment, where robotic arms group them into large cardboard boxes, which are then stacked on pallets and stored in gigantic distribution centers. Finally, refrigerated trucks and maritime containers transport the cookies to supermarkets, stores, and gas stations around the world. It is estimated that the annual production of Oreos is so large that if they were placed one after another, they could circle the entire planet up to 3 times. This is another example of the brutal impact and gigantic scale behind the production of these cookies. To finish, tell us, did you imagine this whole process? What is your favorite type of Oreo? Leave us your answer in the comments, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next factory tour.